What's good everyone, it's Zigzag here, welcome back to another Geoguessr video, and welcome to a map that I have not played on the channel for over 2 years, if you can believe it. This is quite a classic. It's called Borders of the World, and it includes locations from border crossings right around the world. Now this obviously helps you to get better scores, because obviously there are only certain places you should be guessing, and there are other countries that are on islands where you just never have to guess at all. So my Australia skills will not help us at all in this video. Also guys, just before New Year's Day hits, the merch drop is still available. So if you're keen on getting a shirt or a hoodie in my design, then you can go ahead and do so in the link in the description. And also, if you forgot, I'm doing a giveaway with that, where I'm going to be giving away one of my World Cup jerseys, the spare one I had from then. I'm going to be sending that to one person who sends themselves a picture of me wearing the merch that they bought or post it on social media. So do that, because I think it's a pretty cool opportunity to get something cool, and I'll obviously send it out to you with a note and everything. But okay, let's head through to the main show here, which is Borders of the World. I'm gonna be quite methodical here, try and get the highest score I possibly can. Here's the first round, and it immediately struck me as Germany, but we have yellow plate here and a white one there. So that could definitely fit here. Copyright date is 2021, I believe. So shouldn't be Germany indeed, at least the side of the border we're on. And I would say everything down here is actually looking a bit more Belgian, perhaps, especially these houses here. So I'm thinking that we're either in Luxembourg or Belgium or Netherlands area, that kind of thing over there. And we do have a town name here, but obviously this is quite a long and populated border. So the chances of us finding it maybe aren't the best, but it does say Olderman. So we could definitely find that potentially. I guess in terms of a region guess, I kind of thought this region here. So I guess let's get to checking these border crossings. Alderman. I mean, this feels like a very tiny town, right? This probably is the main street. And yeah, we see that it's just got open fields to our south there. And so do we actually see so over on this side, we see more white plates. So I would say that we are actually in the Netherlands on the north side here. Although we see white plates here as well. So I guess it's not fully guaranteed, but that's my thinking here. Definitely a predominance of white plates. So maybe we're inside one of these areas here. But again, not really seeing it. I mean, I don't think we're actually in Bala Herzog, but yeah. And what about this side over here? Ossendrecht? I don't think so. But yeah, I do think this is the right border. I think I'm gonna have to accept my fate here. But this is the road angle. Okay, let's try and pick something that roughly lines up here as we go for our guess. I would say just somewhere around here is probably feeling pretty decent. It is fairly remote there. And it also makes sense if we happen to be closer to the Netherlands. I mean, to better Luxembourg, which is always possible, to be honest. But I do think I prefer the Dutch idea. So we'll give this a go here. And it was the Dutch idea, except it was the exact wrong side there. Yeah, I think that wasn't even a proper town, really. Oh no, it was. Okay, Ouderman. Waterland Ouderman was a very, very small place, as I predicted. So yeah, would have had to do a bit of a better job. Maybe there would be more trees where I clicked here, so it might not be the most logical guess, but we still got the right border, so I guess we got the border streak of 1 and a country streak of 1 as well. Next one here, are we on the same border? We have some very, you know, Belgian-looking houses here once again. And this time we don't have the luxury of any license plates, but I would say that we might try the same area again here, especially because this one's so rural and it looks fairly similar to the last one. I think I'm just going to go for it. The road is going southeasterly here, so I'm going to go on this border crossing right here. And okay, it was basically the same place. I mean, not quite, but interestingly close. Where was the last one? I've already lost on the map where it was. It was somewhere on this little section here, but okay, not too bad. And we actually missed the country there. That actually was on the Belgian side, I guess. Next one here, this should be somewhat easier, I would say. What are we looking at here? It looks like it might be Luxembourg. We've got German-style bollards, and it's Generation 2, which they deleted in Germany, of course. So I would say this is Luxembourg. Now, the question is, which border are we near? Because we've got a white number plate here. We might be on the border with Germany for that reason, because obviously the Dutch border, no Dutch border, I mean, the Belgian border would have red number plates, and that could be red actually, but I'm not too sure. And then the French border would have French bollards. I mean, yeah, surely this is the German border just because we do have German bollards on both sides of us. Although maybe no, maybe we don't this side. So, ooh, what does that say? L. So that's Luxembourg there to our north. And I think we are on the border with Germany here, in my opinion. So that would, you know, it would mean we could actually 5k this, because we've got a town in a valley here, and we're headed north into Luxembourg on an angle like this. So, let's see here. I think it could be this kind of a crossing here, you know, like something on the German border this way. Though I am thinking that this whole border is kind of on a river, which means there are relatively few crossings, and which means I'm not really sure why we're headed north into Luxembourg, you know, because that's what we saw. So does that kind of necessitate the fact that we'd have to be in the south on the French border? Maybe so. What about this here? Yeah, again, angle's a bit wrong. Could be Schengen, but I don't really see that the angles line up too nicely here. So then we'll look at the bigger roads that actually do cross at the correct angle here. Not really liking that one too much. That's actually inside of Belgium. So, yeah, I actually don't see where I think this is, to be honest with you. There don't really seem to be too many good options here. I mean, this one theoretically has a pretty correct angle, but clearly we are outside of a town here. We're not actually in a town as we cross, so it really does reduce the possible options, in my opinion, and this bend to our south as well is quite pronounced, so it should show up on the map fairly easily, I would say, and I just don't see it. So I think I'm going back to thinking this is on the German border somewhere, though, as I said, options are very, very limited, so maybe it's like around here, but I don't know. Like, it should be somewhere where you can easily enter from Germany, so like here maybe? And then, yeah, this doesn't actually fit that badly, but we don't have the right bend, so I just don't get it here. I'm going to go in this town, because I think that at least somewhat makes sense here, but I'm very curious to see what it actually ends up being. Okay, it was this one. It was a very similar one, and we were indeed in Germany with Generation 2 there. So we actually missed out on the country streak, which, I mean, is logical because, you know, it did say L for Luxembourg as we were looking north, but, I mean, I just thought they deleted all that spill coverage, so quite an interesting one. We got a decent score, but no country streak there. Very, very Benelux heavy seed so far. When I did a test seed on this map just to see if it was good, I got no rounds here, but apparently today we're very, very lucky in terms of getting them. We got Netherlands here to our north, and for that reason, probably going to be Belgium here. Bollards over here, do they fit Belgium? They look more German. Yeah, they look more German. So we are headed north into the Netherlands on the German border here. There are plenty of places where you could do that, and it does appear we're in some kind of a town here. Well, this kind of looks good immediately. But let's see here. So that's directly south to our north. It kind of bends up and a bit to the left, a bit to the west, I mean. And I don't know, it's something... the road remains pretty straight before bending off to the east in the south. So, I mean, they're definitely, like, this kind of thing does seem kind of correct, I think. Because north does bend off. Ooh, I think we actually got it this time, guys. Maybe. So, the actual border then would lie a little bit to the... Okay, let's work this out logically, okay? So, to the south, we have an off-road west. So, that would be potentially that one. Which... would not fit. I think that have to be that road there. Yeah. So do we actually have the name of the road? Looks like we probably don't, but I think that road does actually fit. And there are a bunch of buildings around on both sides. And then do we have another off-road? We don't, which fits as well. And then I see it bending around. So yeah, I think we actually got this one here. And logically, that would mean we are on the Dutch side of things here because we are in front of this road down to our south. And we're next to a building, which is on our west side, which, to be fair, doesn't really appear on the map, but I think it just may be glitched, because we do have the other building on this side, which is correct. I think we're correct here. If it's not, it's a big coincidence, because a number of factors line up correctly here. And there should be a monument of some kind, which I don't necessarily see, but I'm going to go for the guess anyway. And we just had a very similar looking border crossing there. Yeah, look at that. Just a very, very similar... I mean, like, actually, look at this, guys, quickly. Like, look how it bends off, and then we got the off-road, and then it bends down to the right, or to the east. And look at this one. Very similar looking thing. We got the off-road, we got the bending off, we've got the bending off to the west as well. So, I mean, I was almost certain there, but that's okay. Okay, can we get a single round outside of that area? We can. So this time it's going to be much more straightforward. Should just be Saskatchewan on the border with the US. And I'm noticing that we're actually not at a perfect north-south angle here, which is quite rare for Saskatchewan, especially in the south. So let's get over here and see which fits the best. We're going northwesterly slightly, which is definitely, yeah, as I said, out of the ordinary for sure. The reason I know it's Saskatchewan is because we have these little white road lines within the yellow ones, and that's just really, really common in Saskatchewan and pretty much not findable elsewhere in the prairies for the Canadian side of things. So it should be just a matter of looking along the border and finding the one that fits here. This could be the angle here. Now, it does seem like we bend around to the south, and that's westerly. But the angle itself is not quite as steep as this one. This is more west than we want. We want one, as we can see here, we want one that kind of goes up a little bit more mildly. So, in which case, let's continue to search here. It's not that one. It actually might be a white road, and that's why I've not seen it yet. This one is looking really great, actually. I would say this is the one. Now, the border crossing doesn't seem too significant down there, which is a little concerning, perhaps. But yeah, I feel like this has to be correct, right? Do we have the off-road here? Because there is like a little bit of a driveway here, but it might not be marked on the map. Seems like it isn't, if there is one. And do we have any like, I mean, everything looks right. We have like a small village here. Yeah, I think so, man. If it's not, then we found another one that looks remarkably similar without actually being correct. But let's actually line it up exactly here. This is the right angle here. And yeah, as you can see, this is like pretty much the perfect angle if you ask me. The yellow line here and this white line look to be pretty much the same. So, and then does it bend here? No, we don't really see the bend. We're kind of in the middle of this angle, so I'd go right here then. And oh my gosh, man, we found another one. I just seriously was I mean, we checked that, I thought. No, we didn't check the very last one, but I was so, oh my gosh, man. How is it so similar once again? I just thought they were all straight, but apparently a lot of these ones actually bent on the border for some reason. All because, and this is the funny thing, the Canadian grid and the US grid had to be reconciled, you see, so they have to bend them on the border. That's so interesting. But okay, we got a 23,000 on the first one here. This, guys, is not a good performance on the map. I would be expecting at least 24,000, but look at this. I tried to guess here on round 2 and then ended up being there on round 4. It's kind of crazy, but okay. Let's head in again here for one more and see if we can actually improve on that score. I really hope so. Looks like we are in the Netherlands again here, probably German border this time. Looks like we do have German bollards and a German flag, so yeah. Seems like this area shows up a whole lot on the map, but we have relatively limited info here. But what we can say is that we are entering into the Netherlands, which is to our northwest, and directly at a northwest angle here. And it's on a very straight road, and it bends around to the west once we actually enter into the country. I don't think this one's quite findable, but we definitely can get the right kind of angle to give ourselves a better chance here. And I'm looking for something that fits nicely, like this kind of thing. Almost fits nicely, but then we need it to bend around to the west once we cross over the border. So, now we search. Ooh, this looks really nice. Do we have an off-road that goes off? We do. I think the car might be pulling in, unless that's a driveway, which I don't think it is. Then we do. Now, do we have a car park here? Not so good looking, to be fair, but look at this. It does bend around really nicely west once we cross over the border, but perhaps not enough. Maybe this is a bigger bend than what I found here. The thing is, the road is really nice and straight northwest, which is exactly what we like to see on the German side. So this one's definitely a contender. What about the amount of houses? So the houses seem to be all on the western side, which is not so good because we would see more here on the east, which we see on the map. So I think it's not actually there, but again, that's one that looks really quite nice off the bat. But yeah, I think we can forget that for now. Okay, here's another one that actually seems kind of decent. So we are going pretty straight northwest, then it does bend around to the west here. The thing is, we, again, actually do kind of have a better building layout this time, where there is only the one on the western side before the bend, and then we should see another building here, which we do. This one actually may be the correct one, to be honest. Does that look like a restaurant? At first I thought it was a house, but now I see some kitchen benches, so I'm actually thinking that this one is actually the correct 5K, which is good because I'd pretty much scanned the whole borders, so we, right in the nick of time, I think have found it. Now we should see a bike path here, which doesn't appear to exist on the map. I don't know if that normally exists on the map, but yeah, that's the only concern here, I think. I would say that we are there, and in terms of the border crossing, I'm not really sure what side of the border we're actually going to be on here, but it looks like where we are, it has not switched to the Dutch bike lane yet, so I'm going to say we're just on the German side of things here. And we are 5,000 points, the first one for the video. About time, but this time I'm really going to try and get every border I can. This one not looking quite so achievable. We have log cabin houses here, and the copyright is 2021, as I thought it might be, so it looks like we are in Russia. And if I had to say, this would probably be one of the Baltic borders, because it kind of looks like Estonia or Latvia. So yeah, thinking of guessing around there. Now, which of the countries is it bordering? We know we're on the Russian side because of the copyright, but I mean, not necessarily, but I think we're there, because wooden houses are just really common in Baltics and Russia. And I think this one's going to be a bit too hard to get, but we are crossing east to west, of course, and it gave me more of an Estonian vibe. Although I think I would probably hedge it in Latvia because, I don't know, that just seems more likely to me. So there's also quite a lot of, in terms of Gen 4, random Gen 4, I think that would actually make us more on this border here, interestingly enough. Because I don't think random Gen 4 like this would really exist too much in, like, Pskov Oblast. So yeah, I think we could be somewhere around here now. You know what? This is actually such a small border that we should actually look at the road angle. So we are slightly on a northwesterly incline here. If we line up with the road, we can see that it's west-northwest. So yeah, let's see if we can find one that kind of fits that description. This kind of one here could work. How does it bend around either way? So it kind of bends to the south in the east, and to the west it bends to the north. So we've got kind of an S-bend here. It should bend south instead of that. So let's just quickly give it a look here. This one again does not fit for that reason. This one is not right. Okay, we don't actually have too much population here, so okay. This is too populated, I think. And then we head up towards here. Not many options here. I think we've almost exhausted them all at this stage. If I'm right, if we're in the right place. That is, we may not be at all. But yeah, I would say if we are in the right place, then I've pretty much exhausted most options here, unless we're inside this town. So let's just give it one more look. But it doesn't look like you can even cross there. Unless we're just nearby the border, then I don't think that would be correct. Well, what about this? Bends around south? Okay, this could be it. We don't see any buildings, though. The buildings should be marked on the map to the north there, and they're not, so yeah, I'm not too hot on that either, to be honest. We may guess there if without any other option, but yeah, random Gen 3. I think random Gen 4, I think, unless we're on the Finnish border. What about that, actually? Finnish border I hadn't really considered, but I mean, because the houses look so Baltic. I think they do. And I think the climate also feels more Baltic. So I'm going to go for that, but Finland border, I mean, maybe if I wanted to scan for quite a bit longer, I definitely could justify going for that instead. Just because it may just simply be more likely on the scheme of, or the balance of probabilities type of thing. But I don't see any, like, crossings here that really fit, and it wouldn't be any further north than this here. So I think we've actually done about all the scanning we need to here. So yeah, I'm gonna guess where I had it. Hopefully the houses are unmarked and it is here. But yeah, not too confident. And okay, it was, random Gen 4 here inside Russia, but I don't imagine that Gen 4 extends too far out there. We might need a Gen 4 Russia expert to tell us, but that actually might be some still coverage from Estonia or just some random stuff that has appeared. But, okay, it actually, so it was Estonia, but on the map it clearly shows that it's Russia. So that's an interesting one. I mean, we could probably make our country Stig 4. But it's definitely an interesting little round there. Okay, next one here. And we look to be somewhere in the Netherlands, Belgium area again. So let's see if we can get that. So this looks like it's in Dutch to me. Not really a surprise, I would say. Tweeling is probably the town name here, I would say. So, and this looks like it might be a border crossing. So that would be to our north. So I don't really know what that would mean because, you know, this might actually be to the south, Belgium. Actually, yeah, I would say that's what's going on. We have Dutch plates both inside this house, which in my calculations would be Belgium, but yeah, not too sure about that. We don't have any flags here, unfortunately, so looks like we're just, I mean, it's Europe. You often don't, but yeah, I think we're gonna have to look for Tweeling on the border here. If I had to say, it kind of feels more like the eastern side of the border this time, and we're looking on the Dutch side for Tweeling. Let's see what kind of angle it goes at, because this is going to be quite a small town once again, and it looks like we go kind of northeasterly, so at this kind of angle here into Tweeling. So, nothing left to do but to give it a little look. I'm really hoping at this point that Tweeling is not a place name, because that would suck if we're looking for nothing, of course, but yeah, I don't really see it at all. I do think we are on the Belgian side of the border, perhaps, if this is a crossing of some kind. But yeah, I mean, Belgium and Flanders, they really don't, Netherlands and Flanders, they really don't, like, differ too much either side of the border, right? So it can be very difficult to tell, in my opinion. Just by the fact that it's so forested, I would click this side, especially because it almost looks like we have a hill there. Oh, it's very hard to tell, but it could be. So I'm going to go this side, but of course, if we're trusting the map, then we'd probably click over here. Let's see where it actually is this time. And yeah, it was there. And Tweeling is not a place, or maybe it's a region or something, I'm not too sure. But yeah, it doesn't appear to be on the map there, so we were really looking for nothing there. It was the Netherlands, though, and we've clicked the right side of the border, so I guess our country streak does continue. And here we go for the second last round of the video. We got a South African flag and a... don't know what that is. Okay, we'll investigate. I think this might be Botswana. Pafuri border crossing, or border patrol. We have the Kruger National Park Google cart here. So if we're in Kruger, then almost certainly we're looking into Mozambique there. Now Mozambique, can we find Pafuri? Is that a place name or not? That makes sense to be the Mozambique flag, by the way. Or if it's not, then maybe it's the Limpopo flag, or the what is this one again? Mpumalanga flag. But okay, let's find out here. Do we have a proper crossing here? So there's this one. Not really too convinced about that. I think this might be a bit further north. Pafui. Oh, there we are. Nice. Okay, that was a bit further north. Now, working out the angle shouldn't be too hard here. This angle is correct. And it looks like over here, we have a proper border crossing. Yeah, with big, big barbed wire and everything. So I'm feeling very good that south of us here we have, more South Africa, and that we are indeed on the South African side. So I'm going to send it in here. Now we are next to buildings, so maybe we are a bit further on here, like next to these buildings here. I think that probably makes sense, because we should also see one building to the south, and it looks like that would be that one, and then a bunch to the north. Yeah, that's all correct. So we should be like around here. And we are indeed. Okay, nice. 2 5Ks. And this one also looks 5Kable. We're in a... looks like we're going to be somewhere in Israel with this Hebrew. Hanik Rot. Not a place I've heard of. We're in Generation 2 camera, which is very rare in Israel. And we are left with very little info apart from that name. Other than that, we got a tunnel crossing here, which is very unique, I would say. First place I wanted to check was Eilat, but no, I don't think they would actually have that here unless there was, yeah, I don't think it's going to be the Egyptian border. Okay, we can forget that. Then, could we be looking at Gaza? I think everything would be too flat at Gaza, I would imagine, because this looks like we're tunneling into a mountain, so I think we can forget that. Hanikrot. Okay, now we check this. This looks quite good with Lebanon, right? I think that definitely makes sense. Hanita, similar name. Hanikrot. I don't know. I'm not super convinced that this is actually a place name. I think it actually might just be the name for kiosk or something. But it's worth looking for anyway, because I don't really know. Similar name here. And then we've got the demilitarized zone. We do get some coverage, so it could be in there. But yeah, I would say like a mountain border. Lebanon makes a lot of sense here. Could also be along the Dead Sea, because you do get similar places along there, I would say. But I think we're not finding this one. But okay, let's say we were gonna find it. It's north border, so that would make sense. And we would what? I mean, there is some, like, it's probably going to be marked out fairly, correctly. Like, okay, this is a tunnel here. I'm going to go for this one. I don't really think we're there. Ooh. Hanikra, look out. Very similar name. I don't mind this idea now. Hanikra is this little place. Hanikrot is maybe like the adjective to do with that place, because Hanik is already 5 letters in common, so I think I like that. Hanita is, yeah. I mean, Hanikra, yeah. I mean, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. So I think I'm going to click here. Not at all convinced, but looks like we do have some places to eat here. I'm going to go next to this place and hope that we are somewhat correct here. Let's find out if we are. Oof, we are the 5,000 pointer. We should have clicked on the border, of course, but still, fantastic stuff there. So, 3 5Ks and a score of 24,000. That's more what I wanted to see. And, I mean, we could have just clicked here because we know that the map has a lot of locations there. This one is more, I mean, this one was gettable, but definitely not what I expected with the camera. So I have to investigate that one. A bit of a learning round there, but at least I got the Estonian vibes. And that is it for the video. So guys, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, guys, I'll see you guys in a video very soon. Don't forget the merch if you're keen for that. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.